Well, hello and welcome to episode 3 of Artemis Unleashed. I'm your host, T-Bone. We have two very special guests today. We went international across the pond, and we got a Brit and whatever you call someone from where the Dutch are. I don't know what that is. KMB, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
My name's Kyle, also known as KMB. I'm an F1 esports racer now, I guess. But I normally just play with a lot of Twitch streamers, like clean racing, fast racing, and I'm just glad to be here.
Perfect. Glad to have you, Graxent.
Hello, I'm Graxent. I'm from the Netherlands and I also driving for F1 Esports or Artemis. And I'm really happy to be here and driving just fast cars.
It's exciting. If you couldn't tell, KMB is the Brit and Graxent is the Dutch person. I hope I didn't misname anybody there. Well, welcome in, guys. Really happy to have you. I want to jump right into an interesting question that I feel like I was thinking about this as we're getting ready. How long for you is too long to wear a pair of pants? So like a pair of jeans, is it like one day and you put them in the wash? Is it like they'll go a week? What is it?
In my opinion, it's if they're dirty. Like if you've not done anything, like you're not sweat, like I'd say 2 days. But if they're dirty, then you gotta wash them.
Yeah, I always do 2 days. It's just normal for me actually.
I might be gross.
I always do 2 days.
I'll go weeks. I might even hit a month. Yeah.
No,
if it's jeans,
no.
If it's like soft pants, like pajama pants, no, those get washed. But like jeans, because there's a layer in between. There's a underwear.
Yeah, but still, I'm at work. I always do 2 days. Actually, I always do this.
Yes.
And I work in construction. I'll wear that shit for a month.
Underwear every day.
Yeah. No, I'm not out here fucking wearing holy underwear and getting ass juice through that. Yeah, no worries on that.
Yeah, you're not the type of person to wear them once and then turn them inside out and wear them again.
Yeah.
No, mainly because I'm too gross. Like they would smell. Like I produce too much juices that it wouldn't work.
I watched the last podcast and Swamp Ass. Yeah,
it happens. It happens to the best of us. And by the best of us, I mean me. It used to be worse when I'm trying to lose weight, so I've got my diet kind of under control. But before I did, I put hot sauce on like everything. I ate like shit, and I would it was a bad deal. Like I would leak throughout the day.
Oh my God. No, dude, no, that's not healthy.
It is what it is. So Grax, I notice you've got a Ferrari flag and a Max helmet. Will you pick out what you're going to do back there?
What do you mean?
Your decorations are conflicting.
Yeah, I have also a Mercedes flag behind me, but you can see it.
You also have like a star hanging above your bed like you're a cat. You're going to play with it.
Yeah, sometimes. With my feet. No, it's just a flag and it's just decoration, not actually something special or something.
Just an F1 fan.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is fair.
Truly F1 fan.
So I'm actually getting something in the mail that I'm super excited for. So I'm going to put it right between that light switch and that Infinity Gauntlet, but it's a light up 44, like Lewis Hamilton's 44, and it's RGB and it's controllable. And the company that makes it also makes like tracks, so you can get like Silverstone or whatever track you want, and they'll either do sector maps or they'll do like the whole track is lit up. I'm pretty excited for it. It'll be nice.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, man.
Thank you. So what did you guys think? We had Silverstone qualifying today. So we got, again, one Brit here. There was a ton of British representation on that podium. And then we have one Dutch person, and they have a happy week every week. What did you guys think of qualifying today?
Honestly, Lando Norris, man. Dude. Wow.
That was a masterpiece, man. That was so good for him. Also, Piastri, actually, he's a rookie this year, and he did really good.
Yeah, he's done really good. Them upgrades McLaren has made are unreal, dude. Like, they have changed that car from being almost at bottom of grid to being at the top, competing with Max Verstappen. Like, to be only 2 tenths off Max Verstappen's car and Max Verstappen, dude, that is unreal.
I was very excited. We watched, my wife is into Formula One now as well. And we were watching qualifying, and I think how it went today was like everyone across the line but Max, and Lando went fastest. And I was like, oh my God, is there a chance? And then, of course, it was not a chance, but the second best.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's all.
I didn't expect that expression.
That's all anybody can expect, to be honest, with Max Verstappen in that car. All I was surprised by was Perez. He just couldn't handle the car, dude. It's like me in the wet conditions on F1. I just can't do it.
That big old dum-dum. Listen, I like Checo a lot. I liked him. I really was hoping at the beginning of the season that we would see some version of a title fight, because like as soon as they unveiled that car and we saw it operate, we knew the Red Bull was faster than everybody else. So our only chance for a decent season was for Checo to take it to Max, and it did look like it for a couple races. Like they were going back and forth. Man, he really sucks now.
Nah, I think he's just cracking under pressure. I think.
Yeah, I mean it's what happens. It's what happens to that second seat is they just it doesn't seem to last. What I will say is I really hope that Red Bull doesn't make any changes mid-season, like both for AlphaTauri and for the main Red Bull seat, because I do feel like that's what is crushing people, because they're just not mentally ready to step up. And it's hard, like if the offseason, they have the entire offseason to wrap their head around what they're going to do. But if you just get called up immediately, that's a lot of pressure, and I think that's what's been hurting a lot of that second seat team.
Yeah, they've all been sat there, not racing, watch people, and you throw them into the, like the fastest car in the thing. There's expectations. Like you can't just. That's a heavy weight to take on.
Yeah, and I know Liam Lawson is like killing it in the Japanese Super Formula. I think it's called Super Formula. But still, even with him, like I want them to give him a full off season to get ready. Obviously, Nick DeVries is not doing phenomenal. I don't think he has a 2-year contract, but. Let me ask you guys this. Have you been to a race in person?
No, never.
No, not personally. I'd love to go to one. Where my friend was actually thinking of taking to one, but the prices nowadays are actually ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean Hungary is the cheapest right now, so.
Well, we were looking, and the travel is not the cheapest, but Japan is actually like a pretty cheap. It's like $130 to get tickets to Japan. Obviously traveling to Japan is a different enchilada, but the Japan tickets themselves are not bad. So we actually booked that for our honeymoon next year. We're gonna go to Japan, do like 4 days in Tokyo, and then do the weekend at the track.
40 days, holy shit.
Honestly, I'd love to go to Japan.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We're basically poor though with how hard we have to like cut to save for that. Like it's. Like we have money to save for Japan, and that's all that we do every month.
Yeah, you got on top of all your bills, being a new homeowner and whatnot.
Yeah, it sucks. So, let me ask you guys this as well. You guys are the previous people we had on the show were content creators for Artemis. Can you clarify? You're not content creators. You are just there to drive fast. Can you explain that a little bit?
I'm just here to drive fast. I mean, I'm competing before in leagues. Actually, I was really good, and I just saw this opportunity to join this team and just to be fighting for the team and have some podiums and trophies for this team. And I hope I can get some soon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I weren't expecting it. Like I've raced in other leagues before. I've had great battles, but I've always been my own demise. I've always caused my own issues, track limits, crashing, etc. But this year, as the new traction model, the way the cars feel, it's actually made me more like excited to actually try and get them podium positions or try and win races in higher leagues than I was last year.
That's fair, and that's very exciting. I am not at all competitive. Like I tell everybody that comes to my stream, like I am here to entertain. I put together the races. I don't do well in the races. I'm usually like at the back.
I mean, a couple of podiums for you is good.
I occasionally, basically, what I say is like I just survive most of the races, and that's how I get. If there's chaos in front of me, I can make it work. But if it's raw pace, I'm not going to be doing it.
See, I think that's my bad luck. I'm always just caught up in other people's actions. Someone else spinning, coming off track, or crashing in front of me that I have to avoid.
Real quick, let's talk about. Have you seen the drama with the Fanatec pedals for the esports, like the actual full esports this year?
No.
Yeah, Vajana Opmir, right?
Yeah, so and Grex, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is basically everyone in like the real major league esports have to use the same equipment. They have to use these Fanatec wheels, Fanatec pedals because they sponsor everything. And they're like breaking off. Like the brake pedals are like breaking in half. And
yeah, because Jan Opmir is driving also real cars before, and he is just having high brakes. So if he brakes, then it's heavy for him, and then the brakes fall off. And for the other esport driver who never drive the real cars, they have low pressure, so they never brake almost. And that's the difference with him and the other esport drivers.
So it just can't handle the amount of force that he's actually putting into the brake pedal.
No. So if you put lower, then he's just slower, and then it's no option for him.
He's just got massive thighs, just absolutely hammering that.
He also say maybe I just change some. Maybe it's LAN, and we don't know LAN on the esports, and so everybody's in one room and then racing. So it's also kind of cool.
Do they do LAN for esports?
Yes.
Yeah, some suggestion. Yeah, it's gonna be this year.
Yeah, they had to cancel it due to that COVID crap. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about the F1 esports. I used to stream Apex, and I kind of would watch that, but this is a whole different ball game.
I mean, in 2019 they did it. I think they did LAN, but Brandon Lee was the winner, right? The championship.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
And you guys are also racing in both the Artemis League and my league. So I think this is actually a good point for the listeners. If you're a listener and you're looking to get into leagues, because there are a lot of leagues that you hear about in F1, but I can see that it's a little bit tough to find. Artemis itself offers a league, which I'm excited for. Basically, it's going to be a very short season, 6-week season, and you can get dropped or moved up for the next season based on how you perform. I'm definitely getting dropped. What do you think?
I don't know. It depends. I've not seen who's signed up and whatnot. So, if you put the practice in, who's to say that you won't go up? It's all depending on your pace on the start. If it's at the start with a load of fast drivers, then you're obviously going to get dropped. But the practice is key, especially in league racing. That's what I've noticed. Even if I'm dead last, just stick with it. Don't DNF. Don't do anything like that.
I think time trial gonna help a lot. It's maybe some change on the normal race, but it's really helpful for that. And also be clean on lap 1 is the main point.
Yes.
I'm the worst F1 content creator. I basically don't touch that game unless I'm streaming. If I'm not actually live, I don't really play the game. I play other shit.
Yeah, that's the issue then.
Yeah, I'm constantly being asked. Like I've got assist. I'm not afraid to say that I've got assist, but how am I so quick practice? I spent 1,100 plus hours in F1 last year on the wheel. It's just playing with stream, even if it's not open lobbies with people. Play with streamers. There's so many F1 streamers nowadays.
Yeah, well, also I kind of refuse to do anything until they fix force feedback. So that's that's part of the problem. Is on this new game with a dead wheel, I basically refuse to spend any more time on it than I feel that I have to.
So you're on the.
It's so weird that they still don't fix it. It's so weird.
Yeah, I paid $90 for the game. It's been a month. It is in the patch notes for next week. Yes, it's Xbox. So everyone on the Logitech wheels will have the force feedback cut out, very temporarily. It's like just takes a couple seconds. They pause it and it comes back. But for Xbox, it's completely Logitech wheels do not have force feedback at all, and it is in the patch notes for next week for specifically the G923. I think the older generations, you may just be out of luck.
That's weird because I heard it was G29s as well, not just the G923s.
Well, they're only what I'm saying is they're patching the G923s, and then in the patch notes it also says the Pro wheel or something to that effect. I forget, but it's not the 29.
Yep.
I have the Thrustmaster, so I have no issues at all.
Well, not everybody picked out a Thrustmaster, Grax.
Not everybody can afford one too.
Also fair. It's also fair.
Yeah.
I got in trouble by my wife. I had my first don't tell my wife purchase this past weekend, and I am stupid and told her. I brought it out. I was like, check how cool this is, and she was like, "This is pretty large. How much was this?" And I was like, "Huh? What?"
It's what? Deaf for a few minutes.
Like, you hear the dogs are doing? I don't know. Yeah, so I got in trouble for that. I did spend money without. I don't want to say permission because that's not really fair, but we do have financial goals we're working towards, and I definitely put us back a little bit by my purchase.
I mean, impulse buys, it's got to be done sometimes.
It's fair. So this is a soapbox that I've been on for a while, and I'm interested to hear some European takes. America has 3 F1 races this season. We'll have 3 next season. I've heard a lot of people complain about that. What are y'all's thoughts, and can you explain why they are that way?
Honestly, I don't really mind because, except from the Las Vegas one, to be honest, I think that's just a cash grab. I genuinely think that's just a cash grab, just to get money out of Las Vegas. The the whole gambling scene as well, like just to bring in people to bring in money for Las Vegas. The other tracks, I'm not bothered about. It's more race, more entertainment for me personally as an F1 fan. I like watching every race. I don't necessarily watch all the qualifying or the practice, but I do try to watch every race.
I mean, for me, it's just put more classic tracks like Germany, Hockenheim, or something. Not just Las Vegas. What is that? Come on.
So Vegas sucks. And I did defend Vegas. When it first was announced and they showed the track layout, I was like, well, we haven't seen it driven. It could be good. It doesn't look good on the track. But then I played it, and that shit is a war crime of a track. I fucking hate that track.
Honestly, I don't even want to play it. If I have to play it in a league, I'm not going to expect much. I'm not going to lie, because I'm probably just going to crash into a barrier and not give a fuck. I'm just not going to care, because it's Las Vegas. It's 3 main straights and 3 chicanes. What's the point?
Yeah, so when I stream, and I mostly do open lobbies, and I let the viewers pick what track we do, and so it's channel points. So if you guys aren't familiar with Twitch, I'm talking to the viewers here. If you guys aren't familiar with Twitch lets you accumulate these little points as you watch, and streamers can set up little rewards for you. That it basically is a reward for you being in their stream. So when we do open lobbies, I let people pick, and it's like, here's the amount to pick any track. Here's a higher amount to pick Monaco. And that was in the old game because I hated Monaco. And now it's like, here's a way higher amount to pick Vegas because fuck you. I don't want to drive Vegas.
No, Las Vegas is... I mean, it's no grip on the game, so I don't know how it is in real life, but I don't like it at all.
It's pretty. Like, it looks cool, though. Like, I'm sure it'll have a lot of good, like, video quality to it.
But only, some ticket is 3,000 or 4,000 or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I saw it on TikTok, some list of every track, and then Las Vegas was the highest one.
So here's a funny little story. So my wife and I got married in Vegas. So in the U.S., getting married in Vegas is like I don't want to say a trashy activity, but it's kind of like a trashy activity. It's like, oh, you basically like are eloping to go to Vegas usually. And my wife and I are not a super traditional couple. We didn't really care about the normal like big wedding. So we said, you know what, let's just have fun. Let's go a destination. That way, like, first of all, less people go because it's more expensive. Like, it's just difficult for people to go. And it'll just be a trip with our friends, and it'll be great. So we go to Vegas. This was before my wife got into Formula 1. So I've tried for years to get her into Formula 1. I remember in 2021, I was like, hey, this is, like, the best title fight I've ever seen. You should, like, if you were going to get into it, you should get into it now. And she's like, no, I don't want. And then I would watch Drive Survive when that came out. And like, this is a really good way to, like, get to know the sport. Maybe you'd like, and she's like, no. Finally got her to watch Drive Survive. Now she's obsessed. She has like F1 merch. She picked out Japan for our honeymoon to go to the race there. All the shit. But the wedding was before she got into F1. And our hotel was right where they did the little showcase where they had the cars like run up and down the street. They did donuts and they had like the underglow on the car, and Lewis was there. Lewis was is my favorite driver. And we were like, oh, that'd be cool. We should go because it was literally like walk out our hotel, walk to the street. That's where it was. That's how close it was to us. But after the wedding reception, I was so incredibly intoxicated that we went straight back to the hotel and I went to sleep. And outside my door was 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton doing donuts. And I was completely like dead to the world.
Dude, bro, how does that even happen?
It was an open bar. We paid for an open bar. I was going to use the open bar, damn it.
7 time. Oh.
8 time. 8 time. 8 time. Just saying.
Let's talk about it. Starting with the one with the Max helmet in his room.
True.
He's not robbed. I'm going to say it. He's not robbed.
Hey, question. Who led every lap of that race except the last one?
True, but it's the FIA fault, and I don't think everyone blame Max on it. But why? It's not his fault. I'm sure if Lewis pit that lap, he win.
No one here said it was Max's fault.
No, but I think he's not robbed.
Honestly, a lot of people did blame Max for it. I don't know why. You're gonna do that.
You take advantage of what's in front of you.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm
exactly.
Not
you do it in a league race, like 100%. If it's there, you're gonna take it 100%. But to say he wasn't robbed was the FIA robbed him. If it's anybody, Michael Massey. Hence why he stepped down before he got sacked, or he got sacked. I can't remember what he did.
I think he was politely asked to step down.
yeah, politely asked, and then they've brought more people in, and yeah, honestly, it's the decisions like to after he's just like gone past the pits to say, yeah, you can pit, like, and then also the safety cars can the lapped cars can pass the safety car. Sorry, it's controversial for me.
So
if
go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
If it was a fair battle, like they were both on fresh tires, fair enough. But it wasn't the case. He was on old tires versus brand new fresh tires, which he shouldn't have never had.
Someone just knocked on our goddamn door.
Okay, I'm gonna say this: Lewis
Hang
win
on,
Abu
hang
Dhabi,
on.
and
I'll be right back. Someone knocked on my door.
I need a toilet anyway. One sec.
Okay, sorry about that. That was someone trying to sell me something.
oh wow.
Would you like to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
So we'll come back. Remind me that I want to come back to the 2021 deal because I do have an interesting take on that. But we actually have a sign on the door that says no soliciting. And this person, so I'm wearing this. Oh God, I'm wearing this Fernando Alonso hat, and he goes, "I swear to God," he goes, "You like Formula One?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "My dad's into that." I was like, "That's cool." And he goes, "You know that Dutch guy, Max?" And I was like, "I'm aware." And he goes, "I like Max. My name is Max." And I was like, "You're already not going to sell me anything." Right
oh my God, he did not. No.
And he was trying to sell like a smart home, and I was like, "Hey," he started to get his phone out and show me the app, and I'm like, "Listen, I'm sorry, we're not interested. I'm not looking for anything right now." And he kept going, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go back inside now. I was in the middle of something, and this sign says no soliciting, so please don't."
Looking like, honestly, I'm surprised that he's doing that when it says no soliciting in America of all places. Like, bruh.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that part of the comments. I don't want to get myself in trouble. But I will say that, like, I'm a huge person. Like, I'll be polite, but don't come to my house and bother. Don't
Yeah.
If I tell you no, then fuck off. So the funny story I was going to say is one time I had the day off. No, it was after work, and I was taking a bath, like a bubble bath. Like, I was chilling, had a fucking Nintendo Switch in there, playing Pokemon or something. I don't know. I was as maximum comfort as I can be. And I hear someone come to the door. And I hear my wife like talk to him for a minute, and they left. And I was like, "Who was that?" And she goes, "You'll find out." I said, "What?" She goes, "I told him to come back tomorrow because you have the day off tomorrow." I was like, "You fucking..." So next day I have the day off, I'm chilling at home. And these three like younger teenagers, like 14, 15-year-olds, knock on the door, and they are they're trying to push whatever their denomination of religion is. They basically knock on the door and they go, hey, your wife told us we can come back and talk to you today. Do you have a minute to talk about our message or whatever it is? And I said, oh, I'm really sorry. She shouldn't have done that. I don't want to talk to you. Like, but she said you were free and we could talk to you. And I was like, yeah, she was wrong. I'm okay. Okay. And then they just kind of stood there and I just closed the door. And I don't know what happened to them, but they never came back.
I'm not surprised. You just closed the door on a mid-conversation.
Listen, like I said, I'm very polite. Don't show up in my house. My house is my place of peace. I don't want you here. I don't want anyone at my door. Don't fucking bother me.
Unless you're friends or family, fuck off.
Even family. Family can fuck off.
Yeah. No, I preach on that one. God damn.
So back to 2021, which I don't know if we've actually covered this on a podcast yet, but my opinion on that whole thing is, and what's funny is I rooted for Max that whole season because I had watched Lewis dominate since 2014, well, minus 2016, and I was just bored. I just wanted something different. And so I rooted for Max that season because he was the underdog. And I do truly believe that that is what the sport needed. I think it was good for the sport because you cannot end a championship fight like that under safety guard. You just cannot do it.
True. Yeah.
That would have been so disappointing to so many people. However, I do think that the way it was done was outside of the current rules. And that is why I think Lewis got robbed. Because I'm partial to both, right? I get it. I wanted an exciting finish. But at the same time, like, Lewis definitely got hoed in that. But seeing him deal with it and come back to racing, that's what made me a Lewis fan, is how he kind of handled that. And I don't blame Max at all. I just hate that Max is so good.
Honestly, I was the same. I was rooting for Max because he's a fast driver. He's young as well. He's younger than I am. And he's driving an F1 car, leading championship this year by 100 points, challenging 7 times world champion Lewis Hamilton, and people are still questioning whether he's got talent. He's got the talent. It's just in my question a little bit. He's got too much aggression in my opinion, but that year definitely robbed, but he definitely earned that battle with him. To be on the exact same amount of points for the last race of the season is actually incredible.
Thoughts, Dutch boy?
Max deserves the championship and Lewis deserves Abu Dhabi.
But you can't have one without the other.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. They was on the exact same amount of points.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because I think if you look back at it, there was a lot of questionable things that may have changed it.
Then. Silverstone 2021.
Okay, right. And then you got to look at Monza then as well.
Fair.
He pretty much paybacked him and pretty much landed his car on top of Lewis's head.
Or Jeddah.
Oh, Jeddah, yeah. There's another one. The breakdown, that one was...
That was a team radio, actually, because the team said to Max to let Lewis by, and then he did, and then Lewis just hang behind him.
But that's the problem was, like, Lewis didn't get that radio message.
So it's not actually his fault then.
And Max was, he was trying to do it strategically to let him pass till he gets DRS. So Lewis was like, what you doing? I'd do the same thing in F1. I know exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to play games for the DRS.
He also was in the middle of the track. Like, he wasn't letting anyone over.
He didn't pull over to the side. He just boom straight on his brakes.
But can we just say the impact of that season? Because we're talking about it 2 years later. Like, we're having a very engaging conversation right now. That's something that has been dead and gone for 2 years.
And people are still talking about Michael Massey and I don't understand the Max hate though. I really don't. Like, people need to realize that he's a good driver, and yes, he's been given a good car, but so did Lewis.
Well, Max is like legitimately the best driver on the grid right now, I think, but he's also just is kind of a jackass. And I think that's what he struggles with. He also
that's what the world champions are also. Vettel was also a jackass.
Well, I think he has like America last year, right? He was already had won the championship and was screaming at his team about a bad pit stop. Like that, and that's why I think people struggle with Max, because he is rude to people. And I also think that he drove very aggressively with Hamilton specifically and not everyone else.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and they've now learned that you've learned that Max Verstappen will just it will send that move, like 100%. If that gap is open, he's going to send it. Even if the gap's not open nowadays, they all know move out the way. Otherwise, you're both getting broken wings.
Which, yeah, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that style. I also, like, he would always pull up alongside during a safety car restart, and, like, they had to clarify that rule at the end of the season. I don't know why they waited the whole end of the season, but, like, that was another thing. I just think he did some kind of shady things. But we're actually, my wife and I are rewatching all of 21, because 23 sucks so bad, and I feel bad that she's, like, this is the year she got into the sport.
Yeah.
So we're rewatching 21, and I will report back on what I find, because everyone argues over whether the calls went Max's way or the calls all went. Everyone says it's one or the other. They all went Lewis's way or they all went Max's way. And so I'm rewatching it to see. And so far, there has only been one call. It was in Bahrain when Max sent that move. He dove in and pushed Lewis wide, and he was told to give the position back. And that's the only thing so far that I've seen that was any kind of call. But we've only gotten like 3 or 4 races in. So.
But he did give the position back.
He did give the position back.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought with that person showing up. Oh, so we kind of touched on this, but I got a question for you guys. Since you are legitimate quick drivers, and I think a lot of our audience is trying to improve at F1, what does your practice routine look like? What tips do you have? How do you get faster at the game? We touched on it a little bit earlier, but
I mean, it's secret sometimes, but just practice much. Maybe it's the easy way to say it, but yeah, it is like that. I mean, just for my opinion, is just drive one track all the time, get a good time, and then do the next one. For me personally, is that the best way? But practice is the easiest way to say it.
See, personally, for me, again, it's practice. Like you're not going to get good if you've got 20 hours in the game. You're just not. It takes thousands of hours to actually be really quick at this game. If you want to use assist, use assist. But I still use them. I'd recommend not using them. I still need to turn them off. But it's again, it's going on the same track that you know, and you learn where you can brake, where you can't brake. It's also, if you're looking to avoid collisions, open lobbies, as much as I say it, it's actually a great place to learn how to avoid chaos. So you can see people in front of you before you know they're going to crash before they know they're going to crash.
But you both said practice. What does practice look like, though? What is give people a actual plan? What should they practice? What should they be doing during?
For me, it's just time trial. Yeah, it's maybe some boring shit, but it is like that. Just drive. I just drive 1 time 70 laps on one track because I just want to be good at it.
See, I'm not that person. I've got the worst attention span possible. I can't do it. I'll 3 laps in and I'm done. For me, it's open lobbies and playing with streamers such as yourself and B Roy and Sharky and whatnot. They're usually clean lobbies with quick drivers that you can use the line. You can, if they're quicker than you can use their line, see where they're braking, see where they're quicker, and try and adapt to it. It's also a lot about setup based. Setup is huge around this game. If you have 2 low wings, you're screwed. 2 high wings, you're screwed. You need to be right in the middle.
But also the wheel rotation, what you like
yes,
336 or whatever you used to.
So I haven't really figured out this new game yet. I did get relatively quick in the old game, not near as quick as like Grax, for example, because I raced him, but like I could hold my own in the old game in open lobbies. I think that there were a couple different like jump points that I noticed. So one was getting, when I first started, I just played the my team mode, or career mode or something like that, and I did all the practice sessions and made sure I like hit the times and did all, and that actually helped me a lot. Just as starting at 0, that was the first thing, and then the second jump that I noticed my performance was doing open lobbies, like you said, because you can predict where the AI will go. You can't really predict where people will go, not near as much. So it makes you a lot quicker on your toes. You have to make decisions in time. And then the third kind of jump was when I went from hosting lobbies with no damage to hosting lobbies with damage on. So you had to really pull your head out of your ass and focus and drive well. And that was when I noticed a big jump. We're still kind of working on the new game and how to get quick there, but that was what I noticed as like a complete beginner. So I came into 22 as my first game, and I came in like 6 months in. I started playing in about November of last year, so I came in at 0, and that's what I noticed helped me the most.
Once you start, if you've got no damage, you've got no risk. If there's no risk, you're not going to be bothered. Once you have risk, then you're going to realize, oh, I'm too close to this car, I need to slow down, or I'm not I need to avoid this because he's sending it up the inside. Sometimes it's faster to leave the space than to get taken out. If the person's faster than you, let them past. Like, just let them past and use their line, use their toe. If they're faster than you, just try and keep with them.
Just keep focus on your own race, your own line.
Yes.
Of course, he's gonna be faster than you, but just drive behind them.
Yeah, the other thing I noticed of like you can really tell people's experience level is when they start to figure out when it's not good to go for something. So like, not going too wide into the S's at Silverstone, for example. Like you'll see a lot of people throw that move when they have the speed and it never works out. And so you realize like, oh, that person waited, held off, picked me off on the next straight. Like you kind of see when people are making their move.
Yeah, you'll see it a lot. If the move's there and they know they can send it before they have to go through the S's, for that example, they will send it and they will make that move. They will dump everything. But if they know 100% that it's quicker to just stay behind you and use the DRS or use a slipstream, that's when you know they're a safe, clean driver.
So, hey, KMB, I got a question. Who put that hole in your wall behind you?
My name's Kyle, bro. I put my hole in the wall.
Why'd you do that?
Angry. I was just angry.
Yeah, I never have been that. What game were you playing when you did that?
FIFA.
Ah, okay.
Ultimate Team. I don't play it anymore. I've literally got like graveyard of 4 controllers in my drawer.
I think your controller also in the ball sometimes or not.
Yeah.
It does look a little controller shaped, if I'm honest.
No, that is a fist. Yeah, that's a fist.
It's silly goose.
It is what it is, man.
I just don't play games. Like I don't play Call of Duty anymore. I just can't do it to myself. I've realized that I'm too old and I like my life too much. I don't want to do it.
I used to play Call of Duty day in, day out, like FIFA day in, day out, and I just realized it got to a point where it's not worth my mental health. It's not worth me raging every 2 seconds and breaking my controllers that cost 60 Great British pounds, which is, it's not fun.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I think this has been plenty of content. Thank you both for joining. Thank you to everybody that listened to this podcast. It was awesome. This was episode 3 of Artemis Unleashed. If you want to check out any other episodes, or if you want to watch the videos, those are also on YouTube. So we put the audio only on Spotify. We put the whole video on YouTube, whatever platform you like. We will be having rotating guests every week. Right now, it's mainly Artemis people. We would like to break into others. Let us know in the comments what you want to hear about next week. I'm going to give you guys a chance to push your own content. So we have the Esports Artemis website that we always link in the show notes. But where can people go to find you two, starting with KMB?
I've got a Twitch that I will be streaming my league races on, which is KMB PC. That's literally it. And I'm not going to be a content creator per se. Yeah, I'm just going to be streaming my league races and just let people know how my progress is going.
Cool, Grax?
Yeah, for me, it's just follow me on Twitter, like Graxent_F1, and I'm not a content creator, so yeah, I can plug my Twitch Graxent, but I'm not streaming often. So if I'm streaming, I just put on Twitter. You can watch me if you want.
Can you spell your Twitter?
GRAXENT_F1. So like Graxent_F1.
So GRAXENT_F1 on Twitter.
Yes, thank you.
He likes to give me a hard time on Twitter. My name is T-Bone. I'm your host. I'll be here every episode. As always, you can find me on Funky T-Bone on Twitch at Funky T-Bone and on YouTube at Funky T-Bone. My dogs are barking. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you both for being on the show. And as always, happy hunting. Bye, guys.